When does the future begin?
Where does the past end?
Whatever the answer is, both our lives suck.
And we would gladly travel back in time in a time machine so far back that everyone we know would be dead.
But this isn't about us. This is about time travel, our topic tonight.
On Dark of the Night.
From the deepest depths of the dark web, Dark of the Night.
I'm going to tell you something, Eric, that kind of occurs to me. And if you need to,
I'm listening, but I want to hear this from the other side of the room.
Something occurs to me about this evening. I feel like something on the chronological dimension is going right. Do you know what I'm saying?
I feel amazing.
Sometimes people have a feeling that chronologically, or sometimes people are like, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, I have a bad feeling about this.
Right.
Well, I have a great feeling about this.
It feels like something's going particularly right tonight, and I want to capture it. I want to bottle it up, and I want to sell it on the street to people walking by.
And I want to buy one of those bottles, and I want to say, guess what's in these bottles? It's a time machine. And here's the thing. Is that true? No.
No.
Are we going to say that, or are we going to sell it?
We're going to say it, we're going to sell it, and we're going to do it. Nightcrawlers, we want to say hello to you tonight. Zazu Unzazu Dagai, which is an ancient Celtic welcoming to an unhallowed ground. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you, Jeff Bezos, who runs Twitch.
Yeah, thanks everybody who basically runs anything you have to pay a lot of money for. I'm Alex Myers. This is Dark of the Night.
I'm Eric Yearwood. Let me make sure and point your microphone at your mouth, because I want us to be the same volume, because we're the yin to each other's yang.
We're basically two yangs.
We're two yangs, and we're two sort of Obi-Wan Kenobis shooting straight towards the Death Star on a mission to blow it up.
Our topic tonight is time travel. I want to say this before we get into time travel. As important as time travel is, and as fascinating as a scientific topic as it is, an equally, important scientific topic is the fact that we're both yangs.
When I look at you, sometimes when you get out of your car, and I'm just like, there's a giant yang coming towards my yang.
Yeah, and when I wake up in the middle of the night next to no one, on no sheets, because I sleep on a mattress with no sheets and no quilt or pillows, I say to myself, I'm going to call some yang, but not just any yang. But I say I'm going to call some other yang because I'm a yang. But here's the deal. Tonight's the topic tonight is time travel. We're glad anyone who's tuning in out there, all the night crawlers. This is a great shot of me.
Let's just say hello to a couple of people who are in the chat right now. Dr. Watney, of course. Weenus Grabber 134 is hashtag I'm loving it, which I'm assuming is a reference to the McDonald's commercial.
And we love McDonald's. You know, a lot of people in the conspiracy world, right, don't like corporations. We love them.
If it weren't for corporations, then you wouldn't have any place to go if you went to a foreign country to get food.
Factoid: the most popular McDonald's in the world is in Dublin, Ireland. So, time travel.
Time travel, it's one of man's, second to flight, it's man's greatest dream.
What are some? Let's kick things off with a general discussion.
Yeah, and we want to hear from you, Nightcrawler. So if you have just sort of any theories about time travel, any thoughts, just go ahead and chat us up in the chat. Blow our minds, yes.
Blow us up. Eric, time travel, what's your take? What's your general paranormal take?
Well, I always think back when I think time travel to that one Superman movie where he flew backwards around the sun and he made the Earth go back in time. And I sometimes will lay awake at night staring at the ceiling and I'll just say, gosh, if only I could make that happen, but make it happen for real, so that everyone dead would be alive, and so that the Crusades and like Attila the Hun would, instead of hurting people, he would make them well.
Right, just a sort of a flip-flop.
Like Hitler would revive I mean,
and we're both uncomfortable saying this, but we do wish it. And let's not finish this sentence.
Let's not even finish that. Weenus Grabber 34 says, "What? Oh, wait. Dr. Winey says, do you consider deja vu time travel?"
Interesting. What I would say, here's my theory.
Sure.
On that, I would say it's kind of an encounter. It's bumping into again, Ryan. Great shot of me. It's bumping into another dimension. That's my theory.
Right.
Because you're still where you are, right? What's so funny about my theory about deja vu?
I think what I'm laughing about is I'm so high on just being so close to you, doing what we love.
Sometimes when you have two Yangs just sitting at the same table, one didn't get a lot of sleep last night on his dirty mattress, and the other sleeps in his car, and I don't know how well he does with that. You're gonna get some random laughter, just some random happiness.
Yeah.
Sometimes the two Yangs,
they go together to form a Chang.
I want to keep on topic here because I think deja vu, right? So why is deja vu? Let's take this tack. What would you say the difference is on its face? Well, I think when most people imagine time travel, right, Eric?
Yeah.
They imagine some kind of scientific apparatus, like some sort of intentional
A device.
act, right?
Yeah.
Like some kind of controlled event. And, there's a bunch of stuff in here, like in this room, that we have a fire extinguisher apparently. I don't remember seeing that. Did that travel back in time? I don't know. Maybe things are constantly just popping in and out of different time periods.
Timelines.
Yeah, right. But I think when I think about time travel, really, deja vu, it's a non-traditional kind of time travel, if at all, right?
Well, that's a really interesting point because, like you said, whenever time travel is portrayed in media or in fiction, there's always some scientist with some big machine. But what if time travel is like less linear or less right-brained than that? What if it is sort of almost like a dream state where you're drifting in and out of different timelines? I think that's something that, needs to be explored. Science is king right now. And I think there's going to come to a point where we look at science and we say, there are limitations.
I think there's going to be a point when scientists start to look at the thing that is truly exciting, right? Something like time travel or traveling through a wormhole. anything, these things that are the true fantastic dreams, like the things that used to be the dreams are like, flight or like going to outer space. And now these things are, so what I'm saying is there's going to be a moment when scientists look around at what they've done and they're going to say, this isn't good. None of what we've done is good. And they're going to sort of roll up all their papers and they're just going to sort of stick them into a toilet. And that'll be the end of science.
Science has brought us so many cool things.
But not time travel.
Not time travel. And Dr. Watney is talking about time travel as the fabric of space-time. They used to say about Einstein that he would never create some of his greatest theories mathematically. He would always do it visually. And so he would imagine himself flying on a beam of light through the universe. And when Dr. Watney's talking about fabric of space-time, it really makes you think about the folds and flaps of space and how those things could be bent and twisted and changed in such a way that kind of doesn't line up with the linear way that most people conventionally think about time.
Well, and this is the thing, right? We're coming into this conversation with a lot of stereotypes, because this idea is so crazy and so wonderful,
right,
and awesome, and sort of beyond that. How can we process it without each other's imaginations? So let's set a goal for tonight.
Okay.
Let's kind of jam all our imaginations next to each other in the same, digital room, and let's kind of roll them around together and see what happens concerning time travel.
I'm down.
Okay.
Are you down, night crawlers? If you're down, just type in the chat. I'm down.
And if you're not down, just don't type anything, or type I'm down. Those are your two options.
Do you notice anything about my accoutrement that seems different? I am Li Chin is down.
Li Chin's here. Hey, Li Chin. We're glad to have you here. Eric, you know that I know what you look like always. I have a photographic memory of only you, and I know two things are different. One, I think you were going to try to slip by me. You have a different vest on.
I do.
But more importantly, and let me say, because I think you weren't going to sort of emphasize the importance of that vest, it's a great vest.
Well, and one of the interesting things is that people don't know this, but it is sleeveless. So I'm going to give you a little peek at home. And that's all I'm going to show, because I'm not a whore or a whore bag.
The other thing is that you have a different crystal on.
I do, and that's I am kind of excited about it, because I bought it off Amazon, but the seller said it's time travel. It can cause time travel. I don't think that that's true. I think that that's kind of silly, but I have been fiddling with it and chanting when I've got it.
That's interesting. Who did you buy it from?
It was a guy by the name of Portal John Quasi 19. I think it was the screen name. It was kind of a long screen name. But anyways, I feel like it fits. The chain works, and it's, who knows?
Help! Eric! Alex! Can you see me? I'm trapped in the future! Oh, please help me! Eric, your experiments worked and you went into the future. I went into the future and now I'm trapped. Can you see me at all? Help! Please, you've got to come get me. Please hear me. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm trapped in the future!
Shitting.
Right.
But it's also like, it's kind of like a quantum physics reference, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
The topic tonight is time travel. We have a guest caller on the line, right?
We do, and it's someone that we're really excited to talk to because he's a long-time listener.
Great. Shall I give him a little intro while we get?
Yeah.
So on the line is our longtime supporter. Dare I say, general of sorts, right? And lawyer.
Right.
And I believe he's going by what is he going by these days?
I think it's I can't. Well, let's ask him ourselves. Hello, are you on the line?
I'm enjoying.
Hi there. How you guys doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm having a lovely evening watching your show, gentlemen.
Thank you. You know, I remind us of your name
Well,
because
My
we,
name-
we
my-
work with
my
you
name-
in a professional capacity, but we
my name used to be Oscar Bailey Holmes,
sure.
but for various legal reasons and issues that I've had to deal with, we've changed it to Lawyer Dave. We're just going to go with Lawyer Dave.
Lawyer Dave, would it be okay if you like kind of put yourself more a little bit to the center of the camera? Because
Like that?
that's perfect. We
Gotcha.
we want to make sure that everybody sees your face.
Now, just to explain the sound that we're hearing right now, Dave, we're hearing a lot of noise. That's because you live in a helicopter, correct?
I do. I live in a helicopter. I was kicked out of my my law office, so I had a client I did some work with who runs a little airport, and I've been able to live in the one of the back rooms here. But it's nice. I could look. We have a little fireplace, and there's like a jukebox over there. See that?
I just saw this picture of Led Zeppelin's airplane from the 70s, and apparently they shared one with Elton John, and it had a fireplace in the airplane. So I didn't know that there were helicopters like that. That's pretty cool.
So
Yeah. I mean, I'm not in a helicopter. I'm in like the lounge, but you know.
Oh, okay.
So you even though it's not necessary to keep the helicopter running at all times, you do keep it running at all times.
Yeah, you never know. You never know when you're just gonna have to get the hell out of here. So we just like to have the propellers just moving.
Yeah, I think it's a really fun idea. It's like I'm gonna go home and fly away. I'm gonna get.
I mean, you never know. Like somebody
Right.
could just show up and you're like, "Let's go," and you just go. Like a war movie.
You could also say I'm gonna go to bed and fly around.
Wait, you mean like be asleep?
Yeah, you could kind of be asleep and kind of just be messing around with the controls. Well,
The
Yeah,
point
no,
is,
yeah.
Dave, we're really excited to talk to you. And for those viewers who aren't familiar with Dave and his role in our show and in our work, he is the legal expert that we turn to because believe it or not, there are certain legal issues that we as paranormal investigators and as broadcasters run into. Dave is our go-to legal expert. He's a lawyer. And Dave, tonight we're talking about time travel, and we just want to ask your legal opinion on some matters related to time travel. Is there
Right.
anything that sort of like jumps to mind as you think about sort of what some of the legal ramifications might be of people going back or forward in time and
Right.
doing whatever?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this depends on what you do when you're time traveling. If you're just going back in time to be like a little passive observer, there are some theories out there that you could disrupt the future, step on a leaf, or like eat a sandwich, or pick up a newspaper, and you can change the future by doing stupid little things. But if you just kind of like mind your own business and don't do anything weird, I don't really see any legal problems. You could pretty much go and come back or do what you got to do. Now the question is, what are you doing? What's your purpose? There have been movies like Time Cop, with Van Damme. It was like an old '90s movie. This whole movie's about having like an enforcement division, like police time travelers, and then you have like hitman movies like Looper. You have these mafia guys who send people into the past to get murdered, and then now we have to start talking about criminal defense. Or what's your motive? Money. You want to make money? Go back in time, figure out the winning lottery numbers. So, we really got to talk about what we're dealing with here. What's the issue?
I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated to just take on one specific example. Okay, let's do one from the movies, right? Let's do, what are the legal ramifications if I sit down, watch, and I wait for the lottery numbers to be announced, and I sit and I don't have a chair, so I'd be sitting on the floor.
Yep.
And
Okay.
I'm talking about the apartment I rent. It's just a room in a house that I rent.
Gotcha.
So I'm sitting. I'm actually watching a neighbor's TV because I don't have a TV.
Gotcha.
And I wait for the lottery numbers, and then I borrow some money from somebody, not Eric. And then I go back in time, and I play those numbers. What are the legal ramifications?
So you're saying like you go back like one day in time.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Here's the issue. Like, when you're dealing with law, you need to figure out who's gonna be enforcing that law against you, right? Like, who is the enforcer? So if there is no rule written about time travel, and no one even knows you can even time travel, then there is no law against what you're doing, because you're like you could do anything you want. Like when the internet just came out, right? There was like no law. You could do anything you wanted on the internet because it was like this new technology. So if it's that kind of a situation where there's like no rules, no law, you can do basically whatever the hell you want because the government has no rules to enforce against you.
So let me ask you this, because that's exciting. To what you're essentially saying is since there's not. It's kind of like explorers coming to the New World or something like that. During the age of exploration, there were no rules. You could kind of do whatever you wanted to do. So I'm wondering. My question is it possible that I could go back in time during like when Mozart was at his peak, and I could show up and I could have like all the like tabs, like guitar tabs for like Van Halen and Metallica and Whitesnake and just like Primus and a bunch of other bands that I think are completely awesome. And I just start playing that stuff during the Victorian age, and everybody's mind is blown, and it's like, I wrote that.
Yeah.
You're saying that there's...
Yeah, well, here's the problem now. Now you're in like medieval... No, now you're like in 17th century like Austria, right?
Sure.
Okay, now this is like a different time. Now you're in a period of time where people like believe in witches and like they burn people and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now instead of dealing with like breaking the time travel laws, if you go back in time, like rip some Metallica in front of Mozart,
yeah, you're
a witch. You're dead.
Oh.
So I think that's kind of like those will be your issues, and at that point you're pretty much just screwed.
So
unless you're just so radical and like that people just want to keep you, for some reason.
Well, so here's this is pretty. I mean, we're in a realm of the abstract at this point, right? Because certainly if time travel exists, which I hope it does, and I would like to get in on that so I can get out of here. I would love to get out of this place that I'm in. What I would say is that, do you feel like it's possible for laws to be made in such a complex situation?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The government will regulate anything they can get their damn hands on. And then they're going to try to control it, you understand? And they're going to try to control who gets to use it. And then they're going to use it. So there's going to be once they figure it out, it's like, it's game over, man. I mean, it is like, they're going to hold the keys to the candy store. So I want to throw a curveball at you guys. This is just a little curveball, just to kind of chew on this little fat, okay? If you go back in time, let's say you're 30 years old and you go back in time 29 years, okay? And then they catch you and they bust you for some time traveling law, right? They're going to have to prove that you're old enough to even prosecute or to even bring a case against you, right? Because you can't charge a 1-year-old, right? if you go back in time 29 years and you're 30, that means you're technically 1 year old, right?
So I could go. I'm 41. If I went back in time 40 years as a 41-year-old man,
Right.
and I jerk off in the street, then it's not indecent.
No.
It's not indecent exposure, because if you saw a baby jerking off,
It wouldn't. You'd say, "Oh, he's stop that." You know, he's
Yeah, he's trying to figure out he has a pecker, you know. So my argument as your attorney in that situation, if they arrested you, would be you have arrested a 1-year-old because age is not based on how he looks like a 41-year-old, but he's only been alive for a year in time. Age is based in time, right? It's like how long you've been alive.
right?
So at that point in time, you're only 1 year old. But the whole trick is you got to avoid the baby version of you, because if they find that baby, then there's two of you. So you got to basically kill the baby version of you.
This is all a very stimulating conversation. I want to point out we've got a couple of people in the chat. Weenus Grabber 134 says, "Lawyer Dave, what are the ramifications of going back in time to stop your brother from running away from home to do a live streaming show?" Which that makes me think that is Alex's brother with a different screen name messaging, but
Yeah.
he's not supposed to be watching the show. But Dr. Watney says, did you guys know there is an Eric trapped in the future? I don't. That seems that's funny. She's, a funny person. So
I think she's doing like an Andy Kaufman kind of a thing,
right,
And
which is kind of fun.
Yeah. The best way to sort of pay homage to Andy Kaufman is to just keep doing Andy Kaufman type stuff.
That's true.
So I do want to say this quick. First of all, if my brother's watching, flush yourself down the garbage dump,
Yeah,
because you're not welcome in this ranch.
that's right.
Yeah. We've
Bunker
talked to
Group.
your brother before. We've dealt with him before.
Yeah.
Dave has been involved in the legal proceedings related to Alex's brother.
Yeah.
Dave, I
He
wanted
knows.
to ask you kind of one sort of final question, and that is there any way in which Alex and I could sort of go, because I know that you keep a detailed record of the charges for your legal services and all
I do.
vast amounts of money that we owe you
That's correct.
over the years. And so is it possible that Alex and I could sort of go back to a time before we owed you any money and sort of plant our flag at that point and say that sort of in the future we could sort of start fresh, and then therefore those fees would be negated?
Yeah, that's a fascinating idea, but to do something like that, you'd have to be operating on the baseline that I was a fucking moron, and I am not a fucking moron. So if you ever did that to me, I would go and find the past version of you and cut both of your balls off, and then I'd shove them down your throats. So that's kind of like, that wouldn't really work out.
Food for thought. Let's hang up.
Yeah, let's hang up.
Nice talking to you guys.
Thank
Great.
you so much.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for the info.
Thank you.
It's kind of funny, and by the way, Dave, every time I see a helicopter fly by tonight, I am going to be thinking to myself, I better hide my balls.
Yeah, I don't want your balls cut off. I don't want my balls cut off.
Yeah, and I don't want your I flat out don't want your balls.
Well, so that's what she said.
Right.
Hey, it's when he was talking, I felt this, my crystal heating up. I don't know what that means, but it's kind of a cool thing because I don't know.
Hey, assholes! I'm still trapped in the future, and you're not doing anything about it. You're just sitting there, just gibbering away. Me, 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 me. Aliens, this, blah, 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 Sasquatch, that. Yeah, well, I'm fucking trapped in the future, okay? You're not doing shit about it. Look at your greasy-ass ponytail and your dumb-ass cowboy hat. Why don't you do something instead of just sitting there and talking to each other?
I think we fascinated, now that we've heard some theoretical ideas about some impacts.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
What are some other I would love to maybe take another call.
Sure.
Let me let's touch base back to the time travel idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, what we're doing is we're grouping together our imaginations. Dr. Watney's doing more. She's saying that there was a
Flapping crystal. I'm not sure what that means.
She said there's an Eric trapped in the future behind us.
Now, Dr. Watney, she lives, from what I understand, in the Midwest. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what she mentioned.
And I know that, I mean, and this is in no way to be offensive. I know that the meth epidemic is just out of control out there. And gosh, she could be having a good time tonight, and maybe.
And God bless.
God bless. I think that's. We've got a call coming in.
Holy cow!
Hello. You're on the line with Dark of the Night.
Hey guys, it's Ryan.
Ryan, how's it going?
Ryan's in the same room.
Did you need me to? All right, I wanted to try and figure out this shot. The thing is,
Ryan, the topic tonight is time travel. It's not this shot.
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm in the fucking room with you. Why are you? You're not here. What? You didn't hear me on the. I'm not trying to be mad at her. Ryan is our.
Ryan, what's your question for tonight?
Did I need one? I needed a question.
What is happening? Why did you call?
Yeah, we're
You
wondering.
want to figure out the shot? Let's figure out the shot.
It's just
I don't get pissed often, but I am.
this Wirecast thing.
I'm white hot.
It's bothering me. I kind of wanted like a close-up shot of you here. Oh, here I actually do have a time travel kind of thing. I'm 30 years old, and I just started trying to learn how to skateboard, but I don't think you can learn at this age.
Right.
So you know what I mean?
I do.
So if I go back in time,
Sure.
will I get a different physique? Like, am I going to be able to learn as a younger self where I can kind of like build up that body knowledge? Is that the?
Let me tell you, Ryan. I know exactly what you're talking about because
Hang up.
well, because I lived in Ohio until I was 13, and then I moved to Florida for a little bit. And by the time I moved in, when I lived in Dayton, Ohio, everybody was into sports, and they were into football.
Why is he calling back? You are here with us.
By the way, just in case you don't know what we're watching, you don't know what's going on, the guy who's calling us is in the room with us.
The guy who's calling us is the guy who does our tech.
It's fine. I kind of there's this delay in whatever you have me monitoring sound, and I prefer the audio.
So you're going to hang up every time Eric starts to answer?
Well, you said hang up pretty forcefully, so I decided to obey. I mean, I think we're team members. I don't like using the word obey, but...
Eric, what were you saying?
The point of what I was saying is that I was sort of into sports and stuff, and everybody was listening to The Doors right around when I was 13, and then I moved to Florida, and everybody was listening to punk rock, and they were skaters. And so by the time I got there, they were like, we would go to the coast, and we would try and surf, and it was already too late. They knew how to surf and how to skate, and I just never caught on. And I don't think you can get that back.
That's kind of what I'm going through right now. I'd have a way better relationship with the city.
We're getting a request to see you.
Just got a haircut.
He's smirking.
It's me. What, you want me on the... This will be the first... This will be the first
here's
time.
what we're going to do. This is how this phone call is going to end. You're going to hang up, you're not going to say anything, and then you're going to quickly walk by in the background.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Let's be quiet while this happens.
Get him up there, Dr. Watney says.
So nobody say anything. Let's just...
And Weenus Grabber wants to give a shout out to Ryan the Tech Man.
That's it.
That was good enough, I think.
Yeah, he's not allowed to talk now. So I am going to I'm going to check in with we have a 1-900 number that I check in with.
What, so Alex? We did talk about this, and
it's not connected to the show.
Alex likes to call 1-900 numbers, and not sexual ones. There's a bunch more types of 1-900 numbers that nobody even knows about.
I have a hobby calling different 1-900 numbers.
And so he's going to do that. And while he does, I'm going to interact with you, the viewers. Dr. Watney, what did you think of Ryan? Right in. Weenus Grabber, what kind of weenuses are you grabbing? And we can, and has anyone out there, any viewers out there, had any sort of time travel related experiences? Have you ever been driving in the middle of the night and you look up at the clock and it says 11:11? Well, maybe that's time travel. Have you ever woken up under a sheet of ice, underwater, and you're completely nude? There's a possibility that that's time travel. Have you ever been touched by an angel? Have you ever been taken to the depths of Lake Minnetonka? Have you ever sailed the 7 seas or seen Alpha Centauri burn like 1,000 stars? Well, maybe you time traveled. Have you ever seen the proboscis of a monarch butterfly gently suck dew out of a rose petal? I'd say that's a form of time travel. That's the exciting thing. Time travel is what you make it, because your mind is moving both forward and backwards in times. Weenus Grabber 134 says 1-900, I'm trapped in time. I don't think that's... There's too many letters there for that to be an actual phone number. Dr. Watney says, I played Life is Strange once. I'm not familiar what that is, but Life is strange. If life wasn't strange, then we wouldn't really have anything to talk about. We're getting another call right now, so I'm gonna... Hello, you're on the line with Dark of the Night.
Hey, oh shit, we got through. Yo, is this Dark of the Night?
This is Dark of the Night. Who's calling?
Hey man, my name is Thorax, and I'm here with my boy Ching Bang.
Thorax and Ching Bang.
Yeah.
Okay.
How you doing?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
I'm alright. Well, not so good. We could be better. So here's the thing.
Okay.
So we're from the year 4210 3/4.
Excuse me. Did you say you're from the year 43-210 2/4?
Yeah, the year. As in the year.
So instead of it seems like what you're saying is, at that advanced point in time, you're no longer dealing with months. You're dealing with quarters.
Yeah, we ran out of months. Yeah. Shortage. So, all right, that's not important. That's not important right now.
You ran out of months.
So listen. We traveled back here to 2018. Wanted to see what it was like.
Okay.
but we left our weed back home, and 2018 kind of sucked, fellas.
You left your weed back home?
Sucks. We left our weed back home, and 2018 sucks.
The weed sucks.
The weed sucks here, and 2018 as a year is sucking.
You can't even smoke a joint in New York.
You can't even smoke a joint in someone's butt right now.
You know, we treat all callers with the respect they deserve. And so we're gonna assume what you're telling us is true.
Well, let me ask this. In the time period you're from, is it possible to smoke a joint in a guy's butt? And it's a crude question. But if it's true,
Some people can do it inside two people's butts.
you know, in a way, it's a crude, dumb idea, but in another way, it's amazing. You know what I mean? If it's true, it is. It is amazing.
I mean,
It's the most advanced way because it gets people high at the same time.
So what you're talking about is you have the technology to, and I just saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it wasn't good, but the special effects were fine. And when he shrinks down, what you think to yourself is, yeah, I'd like a slice of that, please. So is it possible for you to shrink down in your time period and go inside an ass and just kind of,
No.
We get taller.
We can only get taller. So we had to develop technology to make asses get huge. So we can only get taller.
Are you taking us?
We're going to
Are you taking us for a ride? Because I heard two chuckles.
no, he mentioned the fact that there were two guys on the phone right at the beginning.
We're two people. We're two people.
Two people, Ching Bang.
Ching Bang and Thorax.
Ching Bang and Thorax.
Okay, so
So listen, all right. So that's only part of our dilemma. That's only part of our dilemma.
Okay, so that's part
Second
one.
part is
So you're trapped.
all right,
you're
so
trapped
I
in the
don't know
year
if you-
2018 is part one.
we're trapped. Exactly, we're trapped here.
Yeah, great.
So we use these cards to get back and forth. They're called Rick-a-Rack.
Cars.
We lost ours on the ferry boat. And did you know that it just takes you to another less exciting island?
The ferry.
A ferry. The boat ferry.
man,
Right.
I have to say, Ching Bang and Thorax. The future, other than being able to smoke a joint in an ass, the information you're sharing.
Anywhere.
You can smoke a joint anywhere. I mean, it seems in New York right now you can pretty much smoke a joint anywhere.
Yeah, it's-
also,
I guess what I'm saying.
and you don't even have
No,
to
you
be
can't.
in.
You can't smoke a joint next to a cop.
You don't
I
even.
tried it. They tried to
it
arrest
just
me, and I
seems-
told them I was from the future, and they thought I was crazy.
Look.
Well,
Look.
I don't know why you'd want to go to the future to smoke inside of someone's ass. That just doesn't make.
I guess what we're saying is the information, and again, we always treat whether it's two guys calling or 50, and whether their name is Ching Bang or Thorax, we always treat our callers with a 100,000% level of respect. It just seems sort of like the future is kind of not.
It's kind of pretty much the same.
It's pretty much the
Just
same,
a little bit better.
except there's more
The
weed.
more advanced.
And you're not. And you guys aren't there.
And you can make people taller and asses bigger.
So-
But listen, that's not. Listen, you didn't let us finish.
Right.
Okay.
So we're
Okay.
stuck here.
This is a lot.
We
Yeah.
were wondering.
Yeah.
We were wondering, since we're stuck here, we were wondering if you guys, one, knew a way to get back, alternatively without using the Rick Rack card, or two, do you guys have any weed you can sell?
That's good.
That's good from the year.
This year.
So can you get us back to the future, or do you have weed, at least?
We're not going to, and don't take this the wrong way, but if we knew where you were, we would call the police, and we would get in the police car, and we would go for like a ride, because we are so against weed.
Well, I'll be honest. I do have some weed.
What? What are you talking about?
I do have some weed, but my neighbor gave my neighbor gave it to me because he said that I look stressed and I look tense.
He's kidding.
No, well, I actually do, but I'm not. I'm not. I never.
Tell me you're kidding.
I never smoked, and I don't intend to. But I would like to give it to somebody. I was waiting to give it to somebody who was trapped in the past. So
that sounds like a fucking crazy person talking.
Well, I mean,
You obviously bought the weed.
Potato.
You weren't going to use it, but you wanted to give it to someone from the past?
Tomato.
I wanted to smoke it in someone's ass.
We'll bring you back if you can tell us how to get us
If
back.
you guys can get me into the future so I can smoke this weed in someone's ass, I'll smoke you out.
This is
long time.
You know what's crazy? You look familiar.
That's impossible. That's not possible.
You look very familiar.
You look familiar. Cut off sleeve vest. No one is that brave in this picture.
How did you know that How did you know that? Alex, this is disturbing. I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna hang up. No. We hung up the call. Oh, my crystal. This crystal's so hot on my neck. I don't know. I think I'm gonna send this thing back.
What's up?
I hate you, Dr. Watt.
I'm still trapped in the future, but it's turning out this is kind of a cool deal because some guys showed up and
I'm gonna throw it in the
we're just kind of doing our thing, and it's one of those things that just makes you kind of want to kick back and just take it all in, drink it all in. So I'm cool. Don't even trip, because me and the boys there's supposed to be a few more showing up later, if you know what I mean. So it's all good in the hood. I'm having a good time, actually. So I'm cool.
Bond.
It is.
And look, man, if you're having a problem with weed, and I don't want to sound cheesy or sappy, and at the same time I wish Ryan wasn't here so I could make this more personal, but Ryan is 10 feet from us and he's just here. But let's just pretend it's you and me. He's making a ton of fucking sounds on his chair.
Well, look, I mean, if we're gonna be pointing fingers,
I wasn't gonna point fingers. What I was gonna say is, look, man, you can trust me. Listen to this song. Do you think this is playing by accident?
well, because I want to trust you. Look, if we're talking drugs, I've seen you snort a line of Tylenol PM off of a Knockwurst at the Bavarian hot dog festival.
That's such a low point for me because it meant nothing. It was so completely meaningless. I still don't know what it means.
And you went to sleep right there in the German beer restaurant.
And we flew back. We flew to Germany for one day, and that's what I did.
And I saved up a lot of money to try and do that.
I wish.
And you sort of talked me into seeing that as like a really cool, fun story. But to be honest, like it was, I wanted to see Germany.
Yeah, well, and I called that trip. It will be the celebration of two Yangs. It'll be two Yangs in Germany, and we'll go to Oktoberfest. But look, you've seen me at my lowest, and I've seen you sort of at a perpetual low. And if you can't trust me, if you would rather say live on air, I didn't want this weed, I'm just saving it because I want to smoke it inside a guy's ass in the future,
It doesn't have to be a guy. It can be anybody's
I
ass.
just thought it was read as guy.
By the year 40 whatever, there's not even going to be guys. There's just going to be asses.
I'm pretty sure.
And I'm going to get in there.
I'm pretty sure
one way or the
Thorak
other.
said guy's ass.
Whatever. Well, I don't know. We'll have to watch the tape
Well,
back.
You know what? This was gonna be like a fun bonding moment, but it definitely scuttled.
No. We're going to... Dr. Watney wants more bonding. Weenus Grabber wants more bonding. Our fans...
Ryan.
I do not mind. I don't mind.
All right, Ryan doesn't mind. Thanks.
All right. Well, look, why don't we shake on it?
All right. It's okay. Don't smoke the weed, though.
I'll throw the weed in the trash.
Yeah, just throw it out, and then I won't be mad.
Folks, tonight's show has been one in which I feel like we've learned everything and nothing all at the same time.
The topic is time travel. We never set out to completely. You can't cover a topic completely, right? Like we will be back to time travel, right? In the same way that we'll be back to UFOs, we'll be back to Satan.
Back to the future.
We'll be back to the future. But for now, we have to go back
to living our lives. We have to go back to Netflix.
I want to say that we need to go back to the dark truth.
Let's go back to the dark truth.
This is the same shot of me that didn't really work during the regular part of the show. Is it any better now? No. But I'll tell you this much. Tonight was a night of 2 Yangs and a dozen night crawlers discussing time travel. Yay. About a guy who lives in a helicopter. We heard about 2 guys who are trapped in 2018 who are mostly worried about where they're going to get their next fix. And they also told us that in the future you can smoke weed in an ass, in a guy's ass. Was that a well-rounded meal tonight? Yeah. Yeah. And you got 2 servings of dessert as a bonus, and it was free. It was all free. Papa John's is where I got most of my pizza. The guy who ran it got fired this week. I'm so sad about it. Fuck. I'm so upset about that. I might have created my own pizza and serve it to you because you're my life and you're my blood. You, the night crawlers, crawl into me, crawl into me and all around me, and I'll see you. And I'll see you the way that you see me, perfectly in tune with one another in the astral realm. And we'll go into the light. We'll go traveling into the light together and we'll skip stones on the memories of 1,000 warlords. We'll join the troops of ancient reveries, communicating with all the dreams we ever had and all we ever will have. We'll have Chinese food on the asses of 1 million
snipers from American Sniper all the way to the new Sniper movies that are going to come out later on this year. Even though the color's all fucked up now, I've moved lower into the shot so it works. And that is the message about tonight. If time travel isn't possible now, you don't say, hey, time travel is working. You say, hey, how do I work towards time travel? How do I make it happen? Right? And so what I want to say is, I am going to take the bus home tonight. I'm going to go home. I'm going to sleep in my freezer. And I'm not going to close the door on my freezer, and the fridge won't be plugged in. And I'm going to lay the fridge down on the ground. So it'll kind of be like sitting in a little box. And that'll be my way of saying, hey, I'm not afraid to take a risk, and I'm not afraid to sleep in my fridge. And that's what this whole crazy life is about, is to say, I'm not afraid. I'm excited to sleep in my fridge. And that's why I gotta thank you guys for watching the show tonight.
We do thank you. Ryan, you can bring it back. Bring it right back. Can you bring it back? Great.
And maybe put that button, push that one button.
Tonight we talked about time travel.
We sure did.
We started a little bit later than usual, but we thank you for hanging with us. We had fun delving into the paranormal with you. We are thankful that you could be here with us tonight.
That's right, Nightcrawlers. Thank you so much for your support, so much for your enthusiasm, and we'll look forward to coming back next week and spending a dark and mysterious evening with you, plumbing the depths of the mysteries of the unexplained. As always, we want to end our show by telling you these words of wisdom. She was hot.
We'll see you next week.